Problems people faced weren't simply local in nature, that the decisions to close a steel mill was made by distant executives, that the lack of textbooks and computers in the school could be traced to skewed priorities of politicians 1,000 miles away. And that when a child turns to violence, I came to realize that there's a hole in that boy's heart that no government alone can fill. It was in these neighborhoods that I received the best education that I ever had, and where I learned the meaning of my Christian faith. After 3 years of this work, I went to law school because I wanted to understand how the law should work for those in need. I became a civil rights lawyer and taught constitutional law. And after a time, I came to understand that our cherished rights of liberty and equality depend on the active participation of an awakened electorate. It was with these ideas in mind that I arrived in this capital city as a state senator. It was here in Springfield where I saw all that is America converge. Farmers and teachers, businessmen and laborers, all of them with a story to tell. All of them seeking a seat at the table. All of them clamoring to be heard. I made lasting friendships here, friends that I see in the audience here today. It was here where we learned to disagree without being disagreeable. That it's possible to compromise so long as you know those principles that can never be compromised. And that so long as we're willing to listen to each other, we can assume the best in people instead of the worst. It's why we were able to reform a death penalty system that was broken. That's why we were able to give health insurance to children in need. That's why we made the tax system right here in Springfield more fair and just for working families. And that's why we passed ethics reform that the cynics said could never, ever be passed. It was here in Springfield where North, South, East, and West come together that I was reminded of the essential decency of the American people. Where I came to believe that through this decency, we can build a more hopeful America. That is why the shadow of the old state capitol, where Lincoln once called on a house divided to stand together, where common hopes and common dreams still live, I stand before you today to announce my candidacy for President of the United States of America.
Mays Gilliam.
Ryan Lewis, candidate named D's Nuts. Really? A candidate registered as an independent from Iowa has the legal name of D's Nuts.
And a recent poll in North Carolina actually has...
Is he talented and skilled?
This actually looks like the D's Nuts third-party challenge might be able to swing the
We
election.
may save the United States from whatever crisis we're in.
D's Nuts might be our savior.
Have you
That's
heard about
it.
candidate
nuts.
D's Nuts?
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Vote for D's Nuts.
D's Nuts. There are about 500 random contenders out there, and it may seem like a joke, but some people have taken Mr. Nuts seriously.
The race for president is over. For the first time in history, a black man.
Barack Obama.
Hold up. Here's a story about a man.
But they agree that
Simple man.
on the economy.
A man with a dream.
How many of you thought Trump became the
World some good.
Raise your hand.
Here's a story for rich and poor.
Okay, half of them thought
The young and the old. About a man from the hood. Trying to do the world some good. Here's a story about a man.
Last night,
An everyday man.
conversation with
A
President
man
Barack
with a
Obama.
dream.
I congratulate
4 decades later, see a dream fulfilled. The long campaign is now ended and we move forward as one nation. We're embarking on a period of change in Washington, yet there are some things that will not change. The United States government will stay vigilant in meeting its most important responsibility, protecting the American people. And the world can be certain this commitment will remain steadfast under our next commander-in-chief. It's important work to do in the months ahead, and I will continue to conduct the people's business.
It is always historic when a new president is elected. This year, especially so. Your thoughts, first of all, on
it's just stunning. It's a stirring sight, but it's incomprehensible. Even a year ago, I wouldn't have thought this possible that an African American man would be elected president of the United States. And when I think of it from a historical point of view, we go back and we think of people, going back to the fact that black people didn't have the right to vote in this country.
It's a stirring sight to watch
Black men in the 1870s, in the 1870s, black men got the right to vote. And of course, it didn't mean much going forward until 1965. At that point, Lyndon Johnson said that the Democratic Party lost the South forever, and there was no possibility really of full enfranchisement. They would say, black people could somehow be the United States of America. This is truly an incredible moment of American history. I can't think of another country in the world where you would have a significant minority that was once so maligned and so oppressed finally have one of its sons rise to this level. This is, I don't care how you feel about him politically. On some level, you have to say this is America at its grandest, the potential, the possibility, and what it says for our children, black and white, the image of Barack Obama and those little girls in the Rose Garden in these years to come, I think is just stunning.
I'm out for presidents to represent me.
Karl Rove lost it on air on Fox News. Now, everybody's called the election for President Obama, including Fox News. And Rove, who swindled all these rich folks in the country out of hundreds of millions of dollars, by the way, which he keeps a very healthy percentage of. Karl Rove has gotten enormously rich off of this election. And he told him, oh no, man, I got this thing figured out, man. Yo, give me my super PAC. Absolutely, I'm going to keep some percentage. But anyway, no, I guarantee Romney's going to win. Romney's going to win. I'll tell you that right now. So Fox News says, no, Romney didn't win. He lost Ohio and he lost the election. This happens.
Do you believe that Ohio has been settled?
No, I don't.
So you're not saying that Obama isn't going to win, but you're just saying he hasn't won it yet.
I think this is premature. We got a quarter of the vote.
I understand what Carl's saying, but if you look at some of these counties that are still left out there, there are votes, a lot of votes left for Obama.
I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but we got to be careful about calling things when we have like 991 votes separating the two candidates and a quarter of the vote yet to count.
Well, folks.
Thanks.
So maybe not so fast.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. It's great to have you guys here.
That's awkward.
Okay.
When the real world collides with their... Now, you know what's awkward is that it leads to confusion. Karl Rove runs a super PAC. He is one of the most biased men
unfortunately, we know what we will get with 4 more years of Obama. This really is a catastrophic setback to our economy and to any opportunity that we would have for Supreme Court justices to be appointed who would be strict adherence to the traditional interpretation of what our Constitution says. What we'll get in 4 years is more debt.
Remember, I had you guys do that in 2000. So don't go out there and actually call the election for the other guy. That might make a difference.
The challenges facing America and our job creation.
News organization would say, okay, now this is a hack. They don't say things like that. They should, right? They would say, but at the very least, this is a guy who ran a super PAC clearly on one side of this issue. So obviously, we're not going to, redo our news because of this incredibly partisan guy. But that's the whole point of Fox News, to be incredibly partisan. That's why we elected him. So Karl Rove gets them on air to go and try to see if they can intimidate the vote counters at Fox News. This walk of shame by Megyn Kelly is fantastic. You're not getting this Supreme Court justice.
Karl Rove said that we should figure out what the deal is with this decision desk. Megyn, I will escort you down the steps here so you can go interview them.
We were thinking this wouldn't be necessary, but as it turns out, we'll do a little interrogation and see if they stand by their call, notwithstanding the doubts that Karl Rove has attempted to place.
This is the decision desk. You tell me whether you stand by your call in Ohio, given the doubts Karl Rove just raised.
We're actually quite comfortable with the call in Ohio.
Natural resources. So,
quite comfortable.
It's a perplexing time for many of us right now.
President Obama won the election rather comfortably. So there goes Karl Rove's prediction. There goes all the money he spent. I believe Karl Rove finds himself in the middle of a ring. Who's going to drop that elbow? I don't know what's It's a surprising guy. It's Karl Rove. They didn't vote for dropping an elbow on himself for being so goddamn wrong and embarrassing Fox News as part of the deal, which was terrific.
This was just too good.
What a great moment.
So I don't know if you were watching Fox News last night. I was. I mean, I actually was watching Fox, MSNBC, and CNN.
Change your answer.
Two different computers going on. I had one earplug with Fox, one earplug with CNN. MSNBC was on. And whenever Nikki was like, "Can we see what's going on Fox?" I'm like, "No, I'm already watching it." Well, wait, I want to watch it too. And I'm like, I can't do that because I have this whole thing. This whole thing is set up, and I have to just be near my computer, and I've got this one ear plug in. And then at one point, like you want to be watching Fox when they call it for president. And here is the moment where they call Ohio for President Obama on Fox. And everyone else knows in the universe that if Ohio goes for President Obama, it's over. It's just a question of how big, but it's over. Now, I'm pretty convinced, because I was watching Fox in the lead up to this, and I don't know what time this was at, probably around 11:30, somewhere around there. I'm pretty convinced that they were drinking at Fox. I'm just, I don't know if Brett Baer was, but Megyn Kelly, some of the guys in their like little war room, I'm pretty convinced were drinking. Like Trippy and Barone, I'm pretty convinced that they were drunk. And so here's the call for Ohio, and then it's like, have you ever seen anybody run in? I remember once I was playing Frisbee with somebody as a kid, and the Frisbee went over my head, and I ran backwards, but watching in front of me to catch the Frisbee, and I banged into a tree. And I just froze in a state of shock for like 3 seconds as my brain processed what just happened, and then I collapsed on the ground. That's what I think just happened here with Fox last night.
Fox News can now project that President Obama will win the crucial battleground state of Ohio.
And there's a question now about, what does that mean, panel? I mean, does that mean
that's the presidency?
That's it.
That's it.
Essentially, Barack Obama is reelected.
Some unbelievable miracle would have to occur in some. I don't see how this isn't going to happen.
Yeah, you know what that miracle would be? The aliens came down and evaporated Ohio with some type of big Ohio evaporation gun. That was Brit Hume saying, like, well, I don't want to say that it's over, but it's over. But the whole night, I have to say, with Fox, was like one of those scenes in a movie where, like two cops, where the partner gets shot, and the cop comes over and cradles his partner as he sort of drifts off into, to death. That's what Fox looked like to me. It was like they were just cradling all these conservatives and just sort of saying, it's okay. Don't worry. We'll remember you.
that America would reverse a Great Recession, reboot our auto industry, and unleash the longest stretch of job creation in our history. If I had told you that we would open up a new chapter with the Cuban people, shut down Iran's nuclear weapons program without firing a shot, take out the mastermind of 9/11, if I had told you that we would win marriage equality and secure the right to health insurance for another 20 million of our fellow citizens, if I had told you all that, you might have said the sights were set a little too high. I can't do that. After my election, there was talk of a post-racial America. And such a vision, however well intended, was never realistic. Race remains a potent and often divisive force in our society. If you're tired of arguing with strangers on the internet, try talking with one of them in real life. If you're disappointed by your elected officials, grab a clipboard, get some signatures, and run for office yourself. Show up. Dive in. Stay at it. Sometimes you'll win. Sometimes you'll lose. Michelle LaVaughn Robinson, girl of the South Side. Made the White House a place that belongs to everybody. And the new generation sets its sights higher because it has you as a role model. Malia and Sasha, of all that I've done in my life, I am most proud to be your dad. For too many of us, it's become safer to retreat into our own bubbles, whether in our neighborhoods, or on college campuses, or places of worship, or especially our social media feeds. Surrounded by people who look like us, and share the same political outlook, and never challenge our assumptions. And increasingly, we become so secure in our bubbles that we start accepting only information, whether it's true or not, that fits our opinions, instead of basing our opinions on the evidence that is out there. I'm asking you to hold fast to that faith written into our founding document, that ideal whisper of slaves and abolitionists, that spirit sung by immigrants and homesteaders and those who marched for justice, that creed reaffirmed by those who planted flags from foreign battlefields to the surface of the moon. A creed at the core of every American whose story is not yet written. Yes, we can. Yes, we did. Yes, we can. Thank you. God bless you. So, what's been going on while I've been gone? On the back end now of my presidency, now that it's completed, I'm spending a lot of time thinking about what is the most important thing I can do for my next job. And what I'm convinced of is that although there are all kinds of issues that I care about and all kinds of issues that I intend to work on, the single most important thing I can do is to help in any way I can prepare the next generation of leadership to take up the baton and to take their own crack at changing the world. Because the one thing that I'm absolutely convinced of is that, yes, we confront a whole range of challenges, from economic inequality and lack of opportunity to a criminal justice system that too often is skewed in ways that are unproductive, to climate change, to issues related to violence. All those problems are serious, they're daunting, but they're not insoluble. What is preventing us from tackling them and making more progress really has to do with our politics and our civic life. It has to do with the fact that because of things like political gerrymandering, our parties have moved further and further apart, and it's harder and harder to find common ground. Because of money in politics, special interests dominate the debates in Washington in ways that don't match up with what the broad majority of Americans feel.